Hello, I'm Dango Rose. Welcome to the Mountaineer Podcast, where everybody's listening. The Mountaineer brings you the latest news of the Peak to Peak region, in print, online, through our podcast, social media, and special publications. Now, listen in to the latest news of the area with our local journalists.
The song that you are currently listening to is called Wildflowers, and it is written and performed by Chicken Wire Empire for their 2018 album, What Moves Mountains. You can stream that album along with plenty of other releases from Chicken Wire Empire wherever you get your music. Also be sure to check out their social media hub by going to their website at chickenwireempire.com. And be sure to keep an eye out because they'll be coming back to the Peak to Peak area and releasing another album in 2025.
Go away somewhere bright and new. I have seen no other who compares with you. You belong among the wildflowers. You belong on a boat out at sea. You belong with your love on your arms. You belong somewhere you feel free.
Happy Halloween, everybody! My name is Jamie Lammers, and welcome to this unexpected episode of the Mountaineer Podcast. This is a Redux episode. What exactly does that mean? Well, it means that we're trying this episode all over again. So here's the deal. I promoted a band called Chicken Wire Empire all the way back in the April 4th, 2024 edition of The Mountaineer for Music of the Mountains. I interviewed one of the members on April Fool's Day, April 1st, and then released the podcast interview on April 5th. Or so I thought. I was listening back to some of the episodes today because I was looking for a particular segment of a previous interview, and when I listened back to the Chicken Wire Empire interview, I heard a statement that I thought I remembered another artist saying. Turns out, this entire time, we accidentally put Andy Epler's interview in the episode that we claimed promoted Chicken Wire Empire. The episode ended up opening and closing with a song called Listen, which is written and performed by Shakina Ma. And for almost 7 months, nobody has noticed, including myself. I have no idea how this managed to slip all of us by, but we're going to make up for it now. We are finally going to release the interview as I originally edited it, along with the music mentions of that time. I know, the music mentions are out of date at this point, but I want to air the podcast episode as it was originally supposed to be aired at this point. So, without any further ado, let's cut back to Jamie Lammers from 7 months ago. Hello! My name is Jamie Lammers, and welcome to this week's edition of Music of the Mountains, where to be and what to see. Our musical guest this week, do you mind introducing yourself real quick?
My name is Ernest Brusubardis IV, and I play fiddle in Chicken Wire Empire.
And I hear that you'll be performing at Howlin' Wind Brewing and Blending very soon.
Yeah, we are. I think we were there last year, and it was just such a good time. It was actually really exciting for some of us because they had an old-time jam there. Basically, yeah, we're just really excited to get to come back.
So how exactly did Chicken Wire Empire get started?
Well, let's see. Right now it's 2024, so it's been quite a few years now, but I think the big thing was that the bass player, Jordan Kroeger, he was already in a band called Stealin Strings that was already starting to dabble in that world of jam bands and bluegrass and all of that. And I think originally he kind of wanted to explore more of a traditional bluegrass band, and it kind of morphed over the years. And when I joined up, they were doing an Old and Away tribute. They didn't have a fiddle player, tour. So I got to be Vassar Clemens' first show, and that led me to joining up, and it's kind of morphed into what it is today. But it definitely kind of started off as wanting to be some Wisconsin guys that wanted to really explore this bluegrass tradition.
And what's your personal background in music, Ernest? You mentioned that you were the fourth of your name. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually royalty. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not at all. But for some reason, everyone decided to name their firstborn son Ernest, and for some reason, they were all pretty heavily in music. So personally, I grew up in a musical family, and it was a lot of choral and symphonic music going on, and everyone played the violin. And when I was 12, I mean, I'd been playing violin for a minute and got into fiddle tunes through a friend, which was pretty, I don't know, there was just something about getting to improvise and getting to put your own stamp on the music that really enticed me. And then I went to college and just focused on classical violin playing and digging deep into all of that. And once I got out of school, I realized that I had kind of forgotten about fiddle tunes and bluegrass in college, that there was a pretty thriving scene in Milwaukee, and there weren't a ton of fiddlers. So it really provided some opportunities for me to start diving back into it. And it was great just to explore bluegrass again and then find people that were really passionate about it, really wanted to learn the tunes, and yeah, I wanted to just explore. So, and now I'm here.
Do you feel you've gone in a similar direction to your family musically, or in a different direction?
Well, it's kind of funny because I guess my great-grandfather played violin, then the next two generations played piano, and now I'm playing violin again. So that's a bit odd, I think. But I think they were always playing a lot. Granted, it was a lot of classical music, but it was a lot of classical music that was also based on folk music. And so there's definitely an element to me through their folk music from back across the sea that I can see why I would be so interested in this bluegrass music then, because it's definitely kind of scraping at the same ancient tones. So it definitely feels like I'm tapping into something way bigger than me and way bigger than us, getting to play this bluegrass music. And I think that's what my ancestors were scraping at too.
What has it been like performing and writing bluegrass with a group?
You know, all you got to do is, if you study one tradition, you learn a bunch of vocabulary and ways to explain things. And then you get into another tradition and you kind of realize it's all exactly the same. There might be different ways to express things, like when you're talking with each other or writing with each other, but it's really a lot of it's the same, especially trying to get feelings out of a certain verse or trying to portray something. It's quite similar. It's just personally, I had to just figure out how to communicate those ideas, especially to other people that had already built their vocabulary. And so, I don't know. I think I'll definitely say that playing this music, it definitely feels like you're constantly trying to have a conversation and constantly trying to pass the subject around to other people and then maybe respond and all that kind of stuff. But the more that I think of it as a conversation, it just kind of helps.
What are some of the big differences between performing solo and performing in a big group like this?
I find that every time I learn a tune, it's always great. And then the real test is, can you play it with somebody else? Because if there's any little crack in the armor or anything like that, it's definitely going to show, which is fine, because then you figure out, oh, this is what I need to do when I'm playing it with other people. But yeah, I would just say it as a conversation again. It's kind of like giving a speech to a bunch of people. That I would say is very much solo playing or playing by yourself, which is great. That kind of means you have to have your ideas and you have to say them. And then, yeah, versus playing in a group or playing with other people where you can say something and then see what comes back at you and actually play with that. Same with writing too. There's so many times that I've written something and I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool, but then it's bringing it to a group or playing it with other people. It really brings some life into it because these people will do things that maybe you didn't think of or give you a different direction for the tune. It's really easy to do that with other people versus talking to yourself.
What are some of your favorite parts about being able to write bluegrass music, especially for a group like this?
I think one cool thing about bluegrass is that it's just such a diverse instrumentation between having mandolin and banjo and fiddle and bass and guitar. It's just really a unique sound. Everything fits together in this really cool puzzle, especially between playing backup or lead playing, and that can just switch so quickly, even just for a moment. So I think that's really fun as a group to be able to figure out what we can do to either play traditional or push the boundaries a little bit. And as a result, you can do anything. You don't really have to be in a box. I guess all I would say to finish that thought is just, it definitely feels very collaborative and very like someone has an idea and then the group fleshes it out. Like the idea is great, but especially with the chicken wire sound, it starts off with little ideas and then it's the group that takes that idea and just really fleshes it out and maybe even changes the original question in a great way.
What are some of your favorite parts about being able to perform live and share this music music with an audience?
You know, until a few years ago, I wouldn't have really known how to answer this, but I think the big thing is we did a lot of live streams during 2020 and all that, and it was great to be able to play together, but we had never tried to perform so hard without an audience, and it really made us never take for granted again getting to play in front of people, in front of an audience that has this great energy and these smiling faces, and it just really showed us that's what we're playing to or playing off of. So I think that's the biggest part. Getting to feel an audience reaction to something or lead them somewhere is just such a blessing. And so that's what we really appreciate about having a live audience in front of us.
And what do you hope that audience members take away from your show when they come and see you?
I hope that they really get to see that we're just having fun, we're playing to each other, that we're all just trying to really make this music happen. And I don't know, sounds cliche, but have fun with it. I mean, when we're not on stage and we're backstage and we're not too busy, then we're just playing back there. We're always just trying to play together. And it's not even about rehearsing songs or something like that. It's more like, oh, hey, do you know this tune? We should play it right now. And then we'll play it. That same energy of wanting to play music together is what we bring to the stage. This is just the stuff we love to play, and we want to share it with people. And we appreciate that other people want to be a part of it.
Is there anything else you'd like to add before we sign off?
I don't know. We're doing quite a few dates out in Colorado. We'll be out in Colorado a bunch, and people reading this want to send their friends. But yeah, outside of coming out to Colorado, nothing really comes to mind at the moment. Got a lot of things working on in the background, but nothing we want to talk about yet.
Thank you so much to Ernest for coming on board and joining us for the podcast. If you want to see him performing live, you can catch him performing fiddle with Chicken Wire Empire, which also consists of bass player Jordan Kroeger, mandolin player Ryan Ogburn, banjo player Jon Peik, and guitarist Greg Brundage, performing at Howlin' Wind Brewing and Blending, 51A Main Street in Rollinsville, on Monday, April 15th, 2024, starting at 6 p.m. And now, for this week's Music Mentions. Head to Busey Brews, located at 70 East 1st Street in Netherland, on Friday, April 5th at 4 p.m. to see Violet Breeze performing live, and on Sunday, April 7th at 2 p.m. to see Ella Wren Duo performing live. Head to the Diner Bar Ned, located at 121 North Jefferson Street in Netherland, on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. to see a Damn Jam Open Jam Night, on Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. for a karaoke night, on Fridays at 9 p.m. for a DJ Friday, and on Sundays at 6 p.m. for an open mic night. Head to Eldora Mountain Resort, located at 2861 Eldora Ski Road in Netherland, on Friday, April 5th at noon to see a DJs in the Woodward Boombox Series with Sun Dragon, on Saturday, April 6th at 10 a.m. to see Ski Noir 5280 with Jeffrey James Franca of Thievery Corporation, on Sunday, April 7th at 9 a.m. to see DJs in the Woodward Boombox with Mental 69, and on Sunday, April 7th at 1 p.m. to see Retro Day and D.O. Joe Uphill Downhill Ski Race with Konax. Head to Howlin' Wind Brewing, located at 51A Main Street in Rollinsville, on Saturday, April 6th at 4 p.m. to see the Hucklebearers performing live. Head to the Jamestown Mercantile, located at 108 Main Street in Jamestown, on Thursday, April 4th at 7 p.m. to see Danny Schaefer performing live, on Friday, April 5th at 7 p.m. to see MMB3 performing live, on Sunday, April 7th at noon to see Ronnie Diamonds performing live, and on Thursday, April 11th at 7 p.m. to see Christina Murray performing live. Head to JKQ Barbecue, located at 200 Gregory Street in Blackhawk, on Friday, April 5th at 6 p.m. and on Saturday, April 6th at 5 p.m. to see Coyote Circle performing live. Head to Knotted Root Brewing, located at 250 North Caribou Street in Netherland, on Sundays at 5 p.m. for Jazz Sundays. Head to the Train Cars, located at 101 Peak to Peak Highway in Netherland, on Thursday, April 4th at 5 p.m. to see a train jam. And finally, head to the Very Nice Brewing Company, located at 20 East Lakeview Drive, number 112 in Netherland, on Friday, April 5th at 5 p.m. to see Aaron Mitchell performing live, and on Saturday, April 6th at 5 p.m. to see David Tillman performing live. Did we miss you or your performance? Want to submit your music listing in the Peak to Peak area? Do you have updates to your business or to your performances? Please call 303-810-5409 or email info@themountaineer.com to be included in the next print edition or the next podcast of The Mountain Ear.
Wow, thank you so much, Jamie from the past, for doing that for us. Now, of course, all of the promotions that we just talked about here are way out of date. However, I did end up calling Ernest to let him know about this particular situation, and he informed me that there are some awesome events for Chicken Wire Empire that are still being planned specifically, but are basically confirmed generally. The band intends to come back somewhere in the Peak to Peak area in early 2024.
2025 during the spring or summer. And sometime during that year as well, they'll be releasing a brand new album. So be sure to head to their website at chickenwireempire.com to check them out, learn more about when they're coming to an area near you, check out their social media, and learn more about the band as a whole. And of course, stream their music now wherever you get your music. All right, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to this Redux episode of the Mountaineer Podcast. If you want to share this interview or others around with whoever you see fit, then be sure to head to our website at themtnear.com and scroll down near the bottom to check out our full archive, or head to our podcast main hub at themtnearpodcast.buzzsprout.com. If you're involved in the Peak to Peak area in any way, and you want to be interviewed, you want to contribute an interview, you have a story you want to tell, or you have advertising that you want us to share, then be sure to email me at media@themountaineer.com, and we will get something sorted for you. I will see you guys tomorrow for our regularly scheduled Music of the Mountains episode for this week's column, and for the first episode of November. Happy Halloween, everyone!
It's been a long, long road. Though we've made it, I can't believe we're home. Seen the southern skies and the snow-covered plains, and now we're back here in Milwaukee, and it all feels the same.
The song that you are currently listening to is called Milwaukee, and it's a single written and performed by Chicken Wire Empire. You can stream this single and plenty of other releases from the band wherever you get your music. You can also check out their social media hub by going to their website at chickenwireempire.com. And be sure to keep an eye out because they'll be coming back to the Peak to Peak area and releasing an album in 2025.
Back here in Milwaukee. Back here in Milwaukee. Back here in Milwaukee. I never meant to make it this far.
And that's it for our show. Subscribe online to get more access to more news, weekly updates to our community calendar, and a link to our YouTube channel by visiting themountaineer.com. Be sure to use the coupon code PODCAST when subscribing for a 10% discount, only available to our listeners. If you are in the local Peak to Peak area, be sure to pick up a print edition of The Mountaineer at a local business. I'm Dango Rose. Thank you for listening.